Hello, and welcome to the Worcestershire Apprenticeships Awards 2021. I'm Paula Furnival, the Strategic Director of People at Worcestershire County Council, and I'm really honoured to be hosting this evening's awards. Tonight is the first of 3 nights of our online ceremonies, each celebrating different categories within the Worcestershire Apprenticeships Awards. This evening's categories are focused around recognition of those individuals who have excelled in the completion of their apprenticeships. The categories are Intermediate Level Apprentice of the Year, Advanced Level Apprentice of the Year, and Higher Level Apprentice of the Year. I'm delighted to be joined by some of our apprenticeship insiders who will be sharing their knowledge, providing us with a valuable insight into apprenticeships within Worcestershire and discussing the many challenges faced this year due to the global COVID pandemic. The Worcestershire Apprenticeships Partnership was set up in 2015 by Worcestershire County Council and Worcestershire Local Enterprise Partnership to recognise how apprenticeships support succession planning within the county. The brand was created to be a gateway to apprenticeships for employers, schools and residents. Overall, the key aim of Worcestershire Apprenticeships is to increase participation across the county. Worcestershire Apprenticeships is just one part of the Inspiring Worcestershire programme, which is helping to create our future workforce by supplying young people with the skills they need for the future. The Worcestershire Apprenticeships Awards are now in their 6th year, and we continue to be impressed by the calibre and quality of our finalists. It's a pity we can't all be together in usual fashion to congratulate our finalists and winners in person this year. However, I do hope that you'll enjoy this unique virtual celebration of Worcestershire's best apprentices and employers. Now I'd like to welcome our first guests this evening, Judy Chadwick, Skills and Investment Group Manager at Worcestershire County Council and Worcestershire Local Enterprise Partnership Director of Skills. Alex Price, PR Marketing and Communications Manager for Worcestershire Local Enterprise Partnership, currently studying a degree apprenticeship, and Belinda Bailey, Business Administration Apprentice, Worcestershire County Council. So, Judy, tell us about the last year and the challenges this has brought to apprenticeships locally.
So over the last 18 months, there have been many challenges delivering apprenticeships within Worcestershire. In the first initial lockdown in March 2020, we had to adapt to remote working. So both for employers and for young people, that was particularly challenging. With our young people, there are a number of concerns, from actual security within their job to being furloughed to just having to balance both working remotely and then also studying remotely. With our employers, it was about how they then manage them at a distance in a different way. So initially for our training providers, it was about taking the learning online, having to adopt those models of classroom-based curriculum to take that to an online delivery. It's fairly challenging in an environment where you actually need to utilise practical techniques to be able to do that. So that was the sort of first challenge when it came to our training providers. Alongside this, our employers had to really adapt their techniques and the way that they were working, while some of them were just struggling to keep going. And for some of our employers, this was more difficult than others. Actually, during this time, our employers within the education sector, within healthcare and public service really came to the mark and actually delivered more apprenticeships than they ever have over 2020. Whereas the adverse impact happened within certain industries where, unfortunately, due to their circumstances and a number of the factors they face within their environments, they were unable to deliver apprenticeships. So, for instance, where they had to look at social distancing within the workplace and they were able to have less people coming in, then that made it quite a challenge to be able to deliver apprenticeships. At one point last year, we were incredibly concerned about the apprenticeship agenda within Worcestershire and actually the recruitment into apprenticeships because the opportunities just weren't there for young people. However, as we've seen, one of the real positives has been that all employers have had to map their workforces, therefore meaning they've had to look at those people within their workforces, the age demographic of them, and look at how they can succession plan and use apprenticeships as a key tool within that. That's been really positive. So actually right now there are over 300 vacancies in Worcestershire for apprenticeships, which is a really good number and really positive for young people wanting to look at that route way. I think, unfortunately, we've had the adverse effect when it comes to our young people. A number of our young people have actually really struggled with the education being remotely. So actually coming back to their sort of normal is going back into education. So therefore, the numbers of our young people this year who've chosen to take apprenticeships has been relatively low. And I think, if you factor into that some of the messaging that they're seeing through the national news, you would understand exactly why they're choosing to stay in education, thinking that they're facing a slightly uncertain future in employment. Having said all of that, what we're seeing in our further education sector at the moment through their open days is some real positives of young people coming forward and requesting more information about apprenticeships. So we're quite positive about the future and regaining the numbers of apprenticeships in the county. And then finally, what I'd just like to say is to take the opportunity to thank both our training providers, our apprentices and our employers, and to say, a massive well done for the last 12 to 18 months in terms of getting to this point. It's been a real challenge and you've certainly been very resilient.
Next, it's fantastic to welcome Alex and Belinda, great examples of apprentices who are building the future workforce of the LEP and the County Council. Alex and Belinda, can you tell us about your experiences over the last year?
Yeah, so obviously everything kind of flipped on its head March last year, as Judy kind of mentioned in her piece. Obviously, I went from being in a kind of very busy office environment, 9 to 5, kind of interacting with various different teams, to working virtually from home from my mum's gym. So it kind of changed overnight quite drastically. And with that, it brought its own challenges. I think one of the main ones I'd like to talk about was obviously being an apprentice. Obviously, you've got your apprenticeship studies and then obviously your work that you're doing at the same time. That was obviously quite a challenge to kind of split that time, because normally I'd traditionally have kind of a 5-hour slot every Friday where you'd be able to kind of take yourself out of work mode and focus just on your studies. And obviously when you're in a virtual environment, that push isn't quite there. And then obviously I think one of the other pieces, and this was a big one for me and also for the LEP and the kind of the team that we work with, is there's quite a lot of kind of collaboration between various different team areas. So and that's a testament to kind of the office layout and the way that we work in the office. Open plans, you can have a conversation with anyone really, and there's an idea to be able to you can bounce theories and thoughts off people. That was obviously taken away being in kind of a virtual environment, because you almost had to have a reason to kind of to make a meeting, so to speak. So you lost that ability. So there was a little bit of kind of that collaboration. I think from my point of view, learning what the other teams were doing, I just kind of lost that little bit of experience during the kind of the virtual kind of the virtual world we've been working in. But there were some positives, I'm pleased to say. So I think, and I mean, obviously I know everyone as kind of a country in a whole, we've been very resilient to obviously the COVID pandemic. And obviously I know from a LEP point of view, we've certainly been very resilient. There's been some challenges, but it's also been kind of one of our busiest and best years yet, with kind of all the delivery work that we've been kind of looking at. And I think one of the key things that enabled us to do that was our adoption of technology, because obviously it's something which we had to go from my own experience, I'd never used Zoom or kind of Microsoft Teams before, had to go to being almost an expert in it, to the extent that obviously, we've even recorded podcasts and kind of video series things predominantly through those platforms. So there was a whole new skill set that I had to kind of open myself up to kind of learn and build, which was really good and really pleasing to be able to get to that state that we're at now, where we've been able to provide kind of our Making Connections series and things like that, which have been predominantly done through the kind of pandemic situation. And then obviously from my own reflection, obviously I've been able to kind of work really hard through my apprenticeship, and obviously that, and obviously my hard work with the LEP has been recognised. They promoted me a few months ago, so obviously all that hard work's kind of come to a nice end point, so to speak.
Thank you, Alex. Thanks for sharing that with us. So, Belinda, Can you tell me how the last 12 months has impacted on you?
Yeah, so I actually started my apprenticeship online. So that started with the interview process that was done virtually. So when I started, I didn't actually meet any of my team, and that was for the first 6 to 8 months, really. So everything was done via email or Zoom, so that did come with some challenges, not getting the relationships with the team that you would normally in an office environment, having those conversations, and asking for information if I was stuck. It was trying to learn, the best way to kind of get your responses. And as well with my apprenticeship, I didn't meet any of the other apprentices, so trying to get those relationships, that was difficult over Zoom, because normally it was just your course day, so it was all very different. And obviously transitioning back into the office, that was a big thing as well. That was a challenge for me. Working from home, it's very different. But it has had some positives. So for my specific work, we work for Skills in Worcestershire. So it's been really enjoyable actually learning how we're helping to improve the future skilled workforce of Worcestershire, and how we're impacting people. So it's just, it's been really enjoyable. So we've had some really good positives working on improving the future skilled workforce of Worcestershire, and helping the young people get into employment.
Thanks, Belinda. It's fantastic to have the insights that you've both given us today into your experiences, and also to hear that it's been positive as well as challenging. Apprenticeships are an excellent pathway to enter employment whilst continuing to study, and it certainly seems that both Alex and Belinda are very much part of the county's future. My next guests this evening are here to help shine a light on some different aspects of apprenticeships, focusing on promoting apprenticeships within education. I'd like to introduce Kerry Davis, Apprenticeships Coordinator at Worcestershire Apprenticeships, Anne-Louise Price, Careers Leader and Careers Advisor from Hanley Castle High School. Welcome, Kerry and Louise. Thank you for joining me. Let's dive into a question for you, Kerry. Can you tell me about your work to help engage schools?
Of course, yes. So Worcestershire Apprenticeships works with all the schools and colleges across the county, and we're there to really introduce apprenticeships to young people as a viable career choice. So we do various work. We support them to understand how to access, apply and secure an apprenticeship, and that's through various activities that we carry out in the schools, which include assembly talks, workshops and careers fairs. And we also help with mock interviews, employer industry talks and employer visits and work experience as well. Obviously, over the last year, we have faced a number of challenges, obviously one being the access to schools. So we have adapted our offer and we have delivered a number of virtual interventions, both directly in schools and into individuals as well. Back in April 2020, we introduced a partnership called the Worcestershire Careers Helpline, which enabled us to continue that support both in schools but also with individuals and ensure they had that support throughout the pandemic.
Kerry, thank you. That's fantastic to hear that even in difficult times we've continued to support young people to understand all of the options open to them. Louise, can you tell us about your role at Hanley Castle and how apprenticeships are embraced there?
Yeah, well, my role at Hanley Castle High School is both as careers leader and careers advisor. So as well as planning and implementing and overseeing all our careers related learning that takes place, I also provide one-to-one support with all of our students in helping them making their choices and decisions for the future. And these roles really complement each other because it means that I can evaluate our programme and then ensure that we're meeting all the needs, of our students. And in recent years, our post-16, post-18 destination data is showing that our students are now starting to contemplate the apprenticeship route as a really viable alternative to other pathways and instead of going on to university.
Thank you, Louise. So, Kerry and Louise, in your experience, are apprenticeships viable options for young people?
I mean, yes, definitely. I mean, apprenticeships work positively to build loyalty, train our young people in the skills and the culture of the workplace. It really gives them that valuable work experience that they need to go on to their future career pathway. Also, employers really value those apprenticeships as a solution to their business and the vacancies they're looking to fill.
Yeah, and a part of the solution, it might not be right for all young people, but it's definitely a positive experience for many. And we've had many success stories at Hanley Castle High School. This year, for example, we've had students go on to companies such as GE Aviation and KPMG and Worcestershire County Council on some fantastic degree apprenticeship opportunities. And also, some of our younger students have had the opportunity to take up vacancies in the agricultural section. So really, embracing what's going on in our local community.
Thank you. Thank you both for your insights and your expertise. It's really great to hear about the work in schools, and it's really positive, isn't it, to see how well the links between the employers and education are being formed. Now it's time to take a look at our first category and introduce tonight's finalists. We start tonight's awards with the Intermediate Level Apprentice of the Year. This Intermediate Level Apprentice Award recognises the positive contribution and first steps of an employee on their career journey. It demonstrates outstanding ability, both academic and practical. And our two finalists are Ben Sheehan from the Sanctuary Group and Finlay Stanley from the Worcestershire Growth Hub. Ben has demonstrated a great commitment to his apprenticeship. He's shown real enthusiasm to take on challenges outside his core job description and is a well-respected member of the team. He's enthusiastic and proactive, and Ben takes ownership of any issues, working really well with his colleagues to find solutions. He's always open to feedback and advice, and Ben shows great maturity. Throughout lockdown, Ben maintained his studies and adapted to remote learning really well, whilst being honest about finding it challenging. He contributed to team morale during this period of lockdown by organising some virtual social events. This is a sign of a true team player. It is a testament to Ben's conscientiousness and diligence that he's been asked to mentor other new apprentices. This shows how managers from other departments have noticed his ability and also his positive attitude. Over the course of his apprenticeship, Finlay has cemented himself as a dependable and vital member of the Worcestershire Growth Hub team. Finlay is responsible for implementing and analysing the data for the Worcestershire Growth Hub and has reached expert level to the extent that he now helps train new staff members on data management. Finlay demonstrates on a daily basis his ability to adapt and work to unique situations to ensure the project is delivered to the best standard. He always acts with professionalism and is willing to go above and beyond to support the team and the businesses that the Growth Hub works with. Finlay has completed his intermediate apprenticeship and has shown his commitment to learn by embarking on an advanced level apprenticeship to further his skill set and impact within the Growth Hub team. As the awards this year have a different look and feel, we thought it would be nice to get to know our finalists a little better. So we decided to send a small film crew off to interview and observe them in their working environment. Let's take a look at those now.
My name is Ben Sheehan and I work at Sanctuary Group in the procurement team. Procurement is responsible for ensuring the goods and services bought by the business are fit for purpose and are bought in compliance with the public procurement tendering regulations. This means we support all business functions in their sourcing processes. We add value by implementing leaner processes, reducing out-of-contract spend, consolidating our supplier base, while also ensuring the way we procure is ethical. I work within the indirects team, and my categories currently include medical and cleaning consumables for the care sector and managing the confidential waste contract for the group. My role includes managing a procurement process from project initiation through to the implementation of the contract, market research, stakeholder management, managing the legal process of setting up a contract, and ultimately trying to achieve best value for money within the tender and contract management process. I have developed a range of skills throughout my apprenticeship, with a significant part of my growth being my management skills and the ability to coordinate and organise. This has been through formal learning, experience and intuition, and I am now in a position where I have my own contract management responsibilities. In 2019, I was nominated for the Worcester Group Training Association Level 2 Apprentice of the Year in Business Administration, having successfully completed the Level 2 apprenticeship. This gave me a good foundation to prepare myself for the jump to Level 4. I have now passed all my 6 procurement and supply Level 4 exams with just the endpoint assessment left to complete. And I'm pleased to say I have also secured a permanent position as an assistant buyer within the procurement team at Sanctuary. My aspirations are to complete my Level 4 apprenticeship and then look at the possibility of completing the Level 6 SIPS course and obtain MSIPS chartered status. I have developed a passion for procurement and enjoy the environment that I work in, which all stem from the opportunity provided to me when I joined Sanctuary.
Hello, my name is Finley Stanley and I'm the Digital and Data Apprentice here at Worcestershire Growth Hub. Originally, I started as a Business Administration Apprentice, but then I started to pick up specific tasks and more responsibility due to a permanent member of staff leaving the organisation. This was towards the end of 2020, and this is where my role started to change. I started to focus on data and analytics. I'm responsible for the administration and the management of Worcestershire Growth Hub CRM system, which is also part of Worcestershire County Council system. In addition to the management, I also provide training to new members of the team on the usage of the system. Another responsibility I have is creating and publishing reports to the local districts and the Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy. This is also known as BASE. I do this on both a weekly and monthly basis. Within the first year of my apprenticeship and at the start of the pandemic, I had to adapt, as well as many other people, to continue with my apprenticeship with working from home. And for over 12 months, still being at home full time, I was continuing to enhance my learning and knowledge whilst working remotely. Originally, when I started my apprenticeship, I was doing a lot of data entry, as we were starting the process of changing CRM systems. The reason for this was so we could be on a shared CRM system with the county council and local districts. This gave me a lot of confidence in using what at the time was the future system for the Growth Hub, and because of this, I got given a lot of responsibility for when the rest of the team moved over to it. For me to win this award, it would recognise and acknowledge the journey I have undertaken during the last 2 years whilst doing my apprenticeship here at Worcestershire Growth Hub, as well as the value of choosing the apprenticeship route.
And so it's time to announce our first winner tonight. To present the award for Intermediate Level Apprentice of the Year, I'd like to welcome back Louise Price.
Thank you, Paula. It's my pleasure to be announcing the winner of the Intermediate Level Apprentice of the Year 2021. And the winner is Ben Sheehan.
Congratulations to Ben, a well-deserving winner of our first award this evening. It's time to celebrate some more winners. Our next category is Advanced Level Apprentice of the Year. The Advanced Level Apprentice Award recognises the commitment and contribution an advanced apprentice delivers in their employment. Our 2 finalists are Eleanor Steele from Platform Housing and Hannah Giles from Herefordshire and Worcestershire Chamber of Commerce. Eleanor has a consistent style and mature approach that means that people connect with her easily. Upbeat, optimistic, she is a truly engaging colleague to be around. Eleanor is continuously seeking to understand the transforming business and is part of and always looking at how to apply her new skills and learning. Her passions for all things in learning and sharing that energy and experience are contagious. With an evolving role, changes within her team and changes to working processes, Ellie has handled these challenges with resilience and a smile. Ellie's development has extended well beyond her apprenticeship, and her approach to learning and its application is exemplary. Ellie pushes her own boundaries and comfort zones and has taken on areas of work outside her job description. She's innovative in suggestions to build apprenticeship numbers and uses social media and networking events. Eleanor played a key role in the development of the apprenticeship strategy. She openly shared her experience, knowledge and ideas and has shaped the future direction of apprenticeships at Platform. Described as having a confidence that you often only see with someone midway through their career, Hannah has an air of natural professionalism. Hannah has quickly become an incredible employee who is already in charge of high-profile projects and tasks. Her confidence to make decisions and take ownership have led to her devising and running a hugely successful social media strategy with the full trust and support of her employer. Hannah has become a public speaker for her department at Herefordshire and Worcestershire Chamber of Commerce and has been complimented by customers on her excellent presentation skills. She has won countless staff awards and, more importantly, the respect of her colleagues and members. Hannah has managed to change a perception that apprentices need a lot of time and will arrive with unpolished skills. She has been an exceptional learner and an ambassador for the apprenticeship scheme due to her determination and hard work. We have another 2 short videos ready for you featuring our advanced level apprentices. Here they come.
Within Platform, my role is managing and maintaining apprenticeships and qualifications throughout the company. This allows me to support all our apprentices as well as continuing to encourage further education within Platform as a whole. My apprenticeship has allowed me to gain experience as well as providing me with a qualification that can be adapted to meet the jobs I aspire to achieve in the future. It has also encouraged me to be brave and try something outside of my comfort zone and to learn the true behaviours and values that make up a good apprentice and colleague. As well as finishing my business administration apprenticeship, I've also been able to implement some ideas and changes into Platform to benefit our apprentices, such as a buddy scheme. This is to help fellow apprentices get through their apprenticeships, especially when most are coming from different backgrounds. Some may have just finished school and this is their first ever job, while others might be looking for a change in career entirely. The buddy scheme has been shown to be effective so far, and I now mentor 12 apprentices ranging from electricians and plumbers to insurance practitioners and health and safety. Since starting the buddy system, we have now created an apprentice coffee morning that occurs every month. These informal meetings allow for apprentices to talk about how their apprenticeship is going and allow for others to provide support and their own insight into helping each other achieve the best they can. Using my experiences, I often lead our team at career events where we go out to schools and employment fairs, actively offering the many different apprenticeships that Platform have and the wide variety that can allow us all to grow together in the future. My role has allowed me to go further than just doing an apprenticeship and has given me the chance to open up opportunities that apprenticeships provide, as well as showing the good work apprentices do for the company.
The Herefordshire and Worcestershire Chamber of Commerce is a not-for-profit membership organisation focused on helping local businesses develop and grow their skills and networks. I'm part of a small but impactful marketing team comprising of myself, a PR and communications executive and our manager, working closely with employees across the business. I've always had an avid interest in creative and digital media, so through a digital marketing apprenticeship I've been able to incorporate this into my everyday work. The remit of my role is to communicate our services consistently and effectively to current and prospective members, alongside promoting and supporting the local business community. I'm also jointly responsible for coordinating the Chamber's Tyro events, which are networking events aimed at young professionals and apprentices who are new to networking or just beginning their professional careers. Following completion of my Level 3 Digital Marketing Apprenticeship, I was keen to further my education, and having discovered the benefits of this apprenticeship, I enrolled in the Level 6 Digital Marketing degree. Early on in my apprenticeship, I was excited to be offered the opportunity to present on behalf of the department at our monthly networking events. I've since spoken in front of large crowds of business professionals and will shortly be working with local apprenticeship providers to start delivering presentations and sharing my experiences with schools and other educational facilities. My biggest achievement so far has been passing my Level 3 with a distinction grade, despite facing the challenges of lockdown and having to adapt to remote working throughout the COVID pandemic. I'm also really proud to have become certified in mental health first aid, and I'm part of a team of Time to Change champions at the Chamber, helping to battle the stigma around attitudes towards mental health in the workplace and the wider community.
On to our second award of the evening, and here to present the Advanced Level Apprentice of the Year is Kerry Davis.
It gives me great pleasure to announce the winner of the Advanced Level Apprentice of the Year 2021, and the award goes to Eleanor Steele.
Congratulations to Eleanor. And now to the last category of tonight's awards, the Higher Level Apprentice of the Year. Higher level apprenticeships are allowing employers to train and nurture higher level skills in their workplaces. This award recognises the commitment and determination of an employee supporting the success and growth of their employer. Our two finalists are Jonathan Davey from Cairns Foods and Matty James from the Herefordshire and Worcestershire NHS Trust. Jonathan's motivation and ability to motivate others has been evident since day one. His enthusiasm and passion is infectious, and he was thrilled and excited to start his apprenticeship in leadership and management. Jonathan has always been willing to learn and take up any challenge given to him. He has excelled in his commitment to self-improvement, development and progress. He is eager to change business for better and is adept in finding practical solutions to problems. The new skills learnt in methods of leadership have helped Jonathan find a solution for every situation. It has given him the confidence to know the decisions he makes are fair and correct. He was able to apply concepts from the modules based around change management and restructure of his department, whilst ensuring their motivation was still high. An asset to his organisation, Jonathan always puts people first. His motto is, if you look after the employee, they will look after the interests of the business. Matty has demonstrated great commitment throughout the apprenticeship. She is keen and eager to learn new skills and gain further knowledge to achieve her goal of becoming a registered nursing associate. Matty's professional and personal growth is clearly evident on a daily basis, and she can be proud of her newfound confidence and perseverance. Overcoming challenges in academic work, Matty has always been a hard worker and an asset to her organisation, demonstrating a real appreciation of the wider issues pertinent to the delivery of a high standard of patient care. Throughout the apprenticeship, she has showed great enthusiasm, professionalism and hard work. In the face of adversity, but not limited to the pandemic, but through her own personal challenges, she's embraced additional learning and dyslexia support that's been offered. She's approachable and friendly and always willing to help and inspire others, a true advocate for the Apprentice programme. The last two videos this evening will be introducing our higher level apprentice finalists. So sit back, relax, and let's see them in action.
Hello, my name is Jonathan Davey and this short video is for my nomination for Worcestershire Apprentice of the Year. During my apprenticeship I worked for a company called Cane's Foods, which produced salad bowls, stir-fry vegetables, sauces, noodles and dressings for major retailers in the food sector. My role was the Industrial Engineering Manager and I was responsible for a team of 18 technicians that operate and maintain all site services, machinery and equipment on a 28-acre site. The main part of the maintenance role is to ensure that services to the factories are running at all times to minimise downtime on factory equipment and enable production to produce the products on time and to plan. My other responsibilities included budget control, departmental planning, project management and most importantly legal compliance and statutory inspections. The business has several statutory duties and regulations they are legally obliged to adhere to and I was the appointed responsible person for ensuring that compliance at all times. Over the last few months, I started a new challenge as Technical FM Manager for a facilities management company, doing a very similar role but in the automotive industry. From the very first module of a Leadership and Management Apprenticeship, I understood that my leadership approach is predominantly democratic, as I like to involve all team members in the decision-making process. It is very important to utilise the knowledge and experience everyone has to gain as much relevant information to the problem in hand before making any decision. However, what I did learn is that not every team member requires or engages with that approach. Therefore, as a leader, it is important to be able to adapt your approach and style to individual team members to get the best results from the team. Some people respond better to a transactional approach and want to see rewards for their hard work, and others need to be encouraged to use their creativity, so require a more transformational approach. During my time with Cane's, we went through several change management processes within the business, which affected shift patterns, working hours, redundancies within my team. The Innovation and Change Management module of this course really helped me to understand how to cope with the barriers to change management. It gave me the knowledge and know-how to keep the team engaged during these changes and support them throughout the whole process. The various modules that I have completed during the apprenticeship have helped me to improve the way I look at myself and others, and particularly in the way I communicate to them on a day-to-day basis. I feel the team was more settled during my tenure and the working relationships improved, which had ultimately led to the team achieving better results. Many thanks for the nomination, definitely didn't expect it, and good luck to all the other candidates.
I'm Matty James. I'm a registered nursing associate and I've been working for the Trust for quite some time. So I'll tell you a little bit about my role. So I started off as a healthcare support worker and then through the apprenticeship I've qualified as a registered nursing associate working for the Trust. So my role involves basically filling the gap in between healthcare support workers and registered nurses. So the nursing associate role is fairly new, and basically we're there to fill the gap between healthcare support workers and the registered nurses. So as you know, the hospitals are in high demand and they haven't got enough staff to kind of cover it, so it helps us to kind of fill that gap within itself. I started off working in the community hospital when I was doing my training, and when I qualified at the end I moved on and was able to help out in the community. There was quite a lot of scope of different places I could go to, so I applied for lots of jobs, got lots of lots of interest from different trusts as well, not just my own trust, and was able to choose where I wanted to go. So I chose to work in the community because the scope of care is really huge. So it's really diverse with all the different people within the community, different age range, all different aspects of their life. So we can help them through those different stages of life in the community giving that care. Going through the apprenticeship scheme, it helped support me through my educational side of it. So I was able to work whilst I was doing my training, which helped me qualify. And I needed extra support with education-wise because I'm not academic at all. I'm more practical. So, you know, it was a struggle, but there was lots of help and support there to help me get through the course and then become a registered nursing associate and be able to help the patients by delivering that care, and also my colleagues as well. I've been able to progress from the healthcare role into the registered nursing associate. So I thought I'd got to the limit as far as I could within the healthcare role and felt restricted on what I could do, and then I'd see all the other like registered nurses running around trying to, obviously we were still running around, but you know, trying to like deliver that quality of care. So it was quite frustrating to see when I wanted to give that extra help and support. So through the apprenticeship I was able to qualify as a registered nursing associate and be able to help deliver some of that care, taking some of the pressure off from the registered nurses and give that care that the patients needed.
Here to award our final prize of the evening is Alex Price.
I'm truly delighted to be announcing this year's higher level apprentice winner. And the award goes to Matty James.
Congratulations to Matty, and a big congratulations to all our winners and finalists tonight. Everyone should be immensely proud to have reached this year's final. What an achievement. Personally, I hope to see tonight's finalists become the county's business leaders in the years to come. And that concludes our time this evening. Please join us tomorrow from 6 p.m. for the next instalment of the Worcestershire Apprenticeships Award 2021. You will need to join via the episode 2 streaming link, which you can find in the description below this video. Tomorrow will be in the safe hands of Michelle Wood, Chair of the West Midlands Apprenticeship Ambassador Network and Group Head of Learning and Development at Sanctuary Group. Joining her will be special guests, and we'll discover the 2021 winners of Small and Medium Apprenticeship Employer of the Year and Large Apprenticeship Employer of the Year. Thank you for joining us, and see you tomorrow. Good night.